Here's a quick summary of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 6, so if you do not want spoilers, back out right now. So if you remember at the end of Chapter 5, Tsurugi and Yuka, they both got stabbed by like a sewing needle from the old man, and this triggered Maru in his unconscious state to open his third eye. And at the beginning of Chapter 6, the old man's kinda like, yo, what's going on? Like, you were just unconscious. Like, I'm pretty sure I knocked you out, how did you get behind me? Then he looks at Maru's third eye and he's like, is that a third eye? Like, is that real? Next page, Maru's about that action. He starts like emanating some light, kind of like this picture here from Crow Colors. And then he is about the action. He starts fighting the old man. He stabs one of his sewing needles through the old man's hands. He then throws a rock like an MLB pitcher, like faster than all hell, right at the old man, and it's like going crazy. He even changes the trajectory of it. Then, without giving the old man a second to breathe, Maru jumps up and he goes to kick down on where the old man is standing. The old man looks to get out of the way, but Maru's downward kick breaks the platform they were on. Tsurugi is being a good big brother. He's holding on to Yuka, but he is like astonished by what's happening. He asks, has Maru always been this strong? Then he goes, no, something's different. The old man goes flying into a gymnasium, and Walk 'em Down Maru comes walking in like he looks cold. Then the next page goes to Cross. Cross goes, Maru, I can't believe you lost control so easily, you're such a fool. But he then says, this might be a good opportunity to make the Earthlings make the first move. And then he says, and once the war begins, we have Dabura on our side, so that means the literal devil looking dude's name is Dabura. Then it cuts back to Maru and the old man fighting in that gymnasium, and they're standing toe to toe, and the old man goes, why do I have to remember this right now? And he has a flashback and it says, the one and only time I've had to flee for my life after a crushing defeat. And we get this panel right here, which is very clearly Yuji Itadori. Like, it has the same exact scar on the eyebrow and everything. Like, here's Yuji in the Shinjuku Showdown. He's got that scar right above the eyebrow. And if we look right here, once again, scar right above the eyebrow. Obviously, though, this is colored, so it makes it a little easier to speculate. But the black and white, you can very clearly see that it's Itadori. Then the old man and Maru start fighting once again. Maru kicks the old man right in the stomach. The old man starts like hurling volleyballs or some sort of ball at Maru, like a lot of them. He thinks it's sweet, but Maru sneaks up behind him, throws a volleyball point blank at the back of this old man's head, like straight doof. And then he starts unloading punch after punch on the old man, like he's beating him down badly. Sends the old man flying, like the old man goes flying through the building, and Maru just calmly walks out the hole he created and is following where the old man went. So we got Walk 'em Down Maru right here. The old man then lands in a big swimming pool, and he tries to jump out and surprise Maru, and Maru just holds out his fists like this. Straight freezes the old man. The old man, now in a very down bad state, says his curse technique can distort the natural laws of order itself. Maru then goes to finish the job. He jumps up on the ice form he created and goes to punch the old man in the head and like eradicate him. But you already know Tsurugi was not going to let Maru end this old man's life, so he jumps up and blocks Maru's punch with his sword and is like, Maru, knock it off, that's enough. Tsurugi says, I knew it, he's unconscious. Cross then appears kind of like overlooking the battlefield, and he goes, how can he still move with those injuries? Referring to Tsurugi. Then he says, it's not a bad situation, however. Then Cross is thinking, he says, I don't care if the Akotsu boy harms Maru or vice versa. Then it pans over to Tsurugi, and the text on his panel says, Jujutsu sorcerers and Jujutsu headquarters aren't always united. Even among Earthlings, there must still be some radical faction with a hardline stance, people who want to use aliens but not accept them. And those people are always searching for a reason to start a war, and that's why I can't let Maru kill an Earthling, even if it's a curse user. It pans back to Cross and it says, a young innocent civilian is a much more fitting reason than an elderly criminal. Then he says, finish him off, Maru. Then it pans back to Tsurugi and he says, no, I simply don't want him to be a trigger for war. And Tsurugi screams, wake up, Maru. Wake up, I thought we were going to be neighbors, remember? Cross then looks very shocked. It pans to Maru and Tsurugi for a second. Then it goes black and it's kind of like light is starting to fill the area. And Cross jumps in and he puts his hand on Maru's forehead and he says, calm yourself, Maru. Then he says, damn it, what am I doing? As Tsurugi and Maru both collapse. Now this chapter was absolutely gas, but here's where it gets really interesting. Because at the end of chapter 3, remember that Maru told Tsurugi that his curse technique was shared with his younger twin brother. So I'm wondering if maybe when Maru opens that third eye and begins to use the technique, Cross is then able to like control Maru's body in a way while Maru is unconscious. or it opens up like some spiritually connected realm between the two twins where they can like access each other's power, like a combination of the power. But that's just me speculating. None of that is confirmed. But the way that Maru said that him and his younger twin brother share the technique, and that Cross is able to feel Maru like opening the third eye and using his technique, and then while Maru's body is unconscious, he's able to kind of like tell Maru what to do. That's why I'm speculating like that. But if you guys have a better theory, let me know down in the comments. And let me know your thoughts on this chapter, because I think it was amazing. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Peace.